Hey guys, Dave here from L'Oreal Professionnel. This is my Ellie from this morning that I used INOA Clear and 30 volume on to try and, to try and remove the purple Majirel GLOW that I had put in, the 0.22 and the 0.21. So I just shampooed her. Well, I shampooed her earlier, but I'm just now getting to conditioning her so that I can do a blow dry. My live schedule today is getting shuffled a little bit. I'm not going to be able to do my 5 o'clock cocktail hour as originally planned. Something else from corporate got scheduled, so I have to do that instead, but all good, right? So I figured I would just jump on live before my next 4 o'clock meeting and give this a dry just so you could see it. All right, guys? So all I've done so far, well, just to recap what we did this morning, INOA Clear 30 volume all over this whole complete section, all right, roots to ends. I let it process by eye until I saw a lot more blonde coming through, a lot less purple in the hair. And then I shampooed it with Post. And then I kind of just left her in my sink because I had other stuff to do today. And then when I got the change, I was like, all right, well, let me wash her out, condition her, and let's just blow dry her so you guys could see it live and see her finished. So I'm just gonna give it a quick blow dry, nothing crazy or fancy. The only thing she has in her hair right now is Vitamino Color 10-in-1. All right, it's the old version, not the new version. So I'm gonna turn on my trusty Dyson. We're gonna get her dry in no time. So just like I taught you guys before, during my blow dry tutorials, I never blow dry like this, right? I never do this because it creates frizz, and you don't want to create frizz. You want to scoop. It's a controlled motion. And that way, you're not adding any frizz or creating any frizz as you're getting the hair dry. All right? So it's very controlled. I'm not doing anything crazy I'm not going to build in any curl. I just want to smooth and dry. So I don't know if you could remember from this morning, but she had been glowed twice. So I had gone over this side of her her hair twice with Majirel GLOW. The first time was L.22, and then the second time I went in with more L.22 and some L.21. And you can already see that a lot of it is lifted. There's a little residual left behind, right? But that's to be expected, okay? Because it is color, it is mannequin hair, so it does react slightly different than human hair, but it's only left over where it was probably the lightest in terms of where it had highlights before, and then I put the purple over it. And so it was really porous in those sections, and so it absorbed it. And so therefore you can still see a little residual, but the majority of it is gone. So, you know, you can use INOA Clear to soften banding when you're doing color corrections, like now when guests are coming back after not seeing you for 3 months. You want to soften the band that they have before you do your permanent color. Go in with some INOA Clear, some 30 volume, soften the band, and then go back with your INOA, dry the hair or your Majirel, and then get that band softened so you don't have to worry about working with the band, right? You can soften it enough so that you can make it disappear so that you don't have to work it as a color correction. You're just doing a minor correction beforehand, getting you to the finish line faster. And so like I said, I'm not doing a fancy blow dry right now. I just want to get her dry so you guys can see it. It's a little overcast here right now, here in Florida. So it's a little darker than it was this morning. This morning it was really bright and really sunny. All right, I'm just gonna have you take a peek. This is the second piece I dropped. There's very little purple left over. But the pieces that were blonde, of course, look blonde again. The pieces that were darker have just the faintest hint of purple left. All right, so very happy with what INOA Clear did. All right, we'll get this side done, and then I'll show you what the original side over here looks like in comparison. So have you guys had a great day? It's great for a gentle color removal. So, great comment, Yoshi. So yeah, so this mannequin, she's been highlighted. She's been glowed. She was glowed twice. Twice specifically on this side of her head that I'm drying now. She was glowed twice. So two separate applications of glow. Both were L22, and then once with L22 and L21. And those were with 20 and 30 volume. So part of what you're going to see as well is, in addition to her highlights that were done with probably Von Studio 9, you're going to see some additional highlights popping up now, because that 20 or 30 volume also lifted the hair, and the INOA Clear, by removing that glow color, left behind highlights. So, you know, I would probably still, if this was my guess now, I would probably still go through it with a DL Light application, just to really remove any warmth that was left. And if my guest wanted more and more of that purple gone, like if she wasn't okay with that residual purple left over, then my next step would be to go to Epsol, a true color remover, and try and get that completely removed. All right. So there she is, completely blow dried. If you go back and watch the before from this morning, you will see how purple she was, and you can see now how purple she's not. Let's drop the other side. This side wasn't quite as purple. I still think you'll be able to see. Yeah, you can still see all that darkness. That's all purple, right? And a little damp hair, but there, you can see. So that's this purple, these dark pieces, was this whole side. And so this Blonde Studio 9 highlight came back, right, in addition to some additional highlights. So you just have a very soft residual left over of that L22 that I had put into the hair over highlighted hair. So it was overly porous, so that overly porous hair really absorbed that purple. I did it dry, so I put the Majirel GLOW on this when it was dry, and this hair just really absorbed it. And so this is after INOA Clear in 30 volume. which I demonstrated this morning. And this is what it looks. Well, this morning it looked like this area here, but it was much darker because there was more of it. Hey, how's it going? And she has a little wet hair now just from me shampooing. I only shampooed the one side. Try to take a shortcut today. But so overall, I would be very pleased with this if this was my removal of the purple. You know, if my guest was daring enough to be purple to begin with, then as part of her removal process, she needs to understand that without sometimes some dramatic measures, we can't remove it all in one shot. And what I did by using the INOA Clear and 30 volume was the most gentle way that we in L'Oreal Professionnel could remove color, okay? So I did use color to remove color, and yes, it's not supposed to be able to happen, but again, because INOA is ammonia-free and we use MEA, monoethylamine, as the oxidative agent, it lifts and deposits simultaneously. And because of that action, you're able to actually remove color. Okay. Did I do this in foils? Did I do it in foils? Yes and no, to answer your question, Jamie. The blonde in here, like this really bright piece here, I was at Michelangelo Salon in Wellington, Florida, and this is the side that I worked on in the salon doing demonstrations of Blonde Studio 9. And then in between the Blonde Studio 9 demonstration, I also did Majirel GLOW demonstration. So this blonde was in a Blonde Studio 9 foil, okay, so which is why it got so light. And then the Majirel GLOW pieces were also separated into a foil as well. So I had them torn. It just helps to keep the blonde pieces from getting tinted. So yes, I did use foil for separation on that. And then this whole side was completely saturated, roots to ends, in INOA Clear this morning with 30 volume to remove the purple glow that I had put in. So if you go back and watch my IG story from this morning, you will see how dark this side was. This side was really heavily purple. And with the INOA Clear and 30 volume, I was able to lift out, not all, but a fair amount of that purple. Just, you know, you can still see a hint of it. But again, like I said, if your guest had the guts enough to have purple hair to begin with, this is going to be livable as we're working through her transition back to a blonde, right? And to remove the purple. Next steps, if she wanted 100% of that purple gone, next steps would have been to go to Ephisol and 20 volume, something a little stronger to totally remove the purple. The other thing that you could do, although it can be a little risky when you're trying to do lightener over color, because you can actually end up breaking down the color molecules smaller and pushing them even farther and deeper into the hair. And so when you go back and put permanent hair color on her, that little permanent hair color that was broken down can come back to haunt you and give you like little, what we call holidays, which are little areas of discovery where the purple came back and it kind of messed up your color. But that could also be an answer too, is to go back now and do some weaved foils through this whole side, which would break up that purple even more. So again, there's just a couple ways to tackle it. I just wanted to show you the finished process of what the INOA Clear did with 30 volume. So I am a minute late for my next meeting, but I wanted to get this on for you guys since my 5 o'clock is not going to happen. Like I said in the beginning of this, something else with corporate got scheduled, and so I have to be on that instead of my 5 o'clock cocktail hour, but I wanted you guys to see that after. So have a great day, and if you wanted to watch this from the beginning, it'll also be in my IG story. Have a good one. Bye.